So before I get into my opinion, before anyone can use this as a point against my opinion, the abhorrent denial of human rights, liberties, and the indiscriminate violence towards civilians on either side, opinion, nationality, or ideology is distasteful. It's evil. And I will call it out regardless of which banner it falls under or which nation or group it falls under. And with that out of the way, here we go. So within there's this big Israel Palestine thing. People want you to pick and choose a side. But any of you that are enlightened enough can realize that both camps are being utilized and extorted by ruling class and elites to line their own pockets on the misery of human life. And with this, and in my own context, as a Christian, as someone who's a non-believer by both groups, so let me put this into context. There's a discrepancy. There's a saying that says, don't judge a group by the actions of a radical few. Okay? And this is an excuse used by all enlightened thinkers in colleges. You're not supposed to judge a group by the actions of a few. But here we go. I was watching Jesse Waters, and they were talking about border crossings, and they were talking about OTMs, other than Mexicans, crossing the border, which these are Asians, Chinese, Middle Easterns, but they mentioned the Arabic persuasion. Of course, they had numbers, plus 100, plus 2,000s. They had a list. They had Jordan was one, Lebanon, Iran, Afghanistan, and Jesse Waters basically maligned them all as fucking terrorists. Now, could it be that a good majority of them may not have their best intentions and could possibly be terrorists? Sure. But he also said that Lebanon was a Hamas-supporting terror state. But Lebanon has a large Christian population, has fought the Palestine Liberation Army in the past. They've fought socialist Druze. They fought Hezbollah. They've fought Syria. So here's a nation that has a Christian government, a Christian group of people within it, and they're all being maligned as terrorists just because Hamas operates in Jordan, Lebanon. And they pointed at Iran and said, oh, these are terrorists from Iran. But there's Assyrian Christians that live on the border between Iran and Iraq. Some of them are Iraqi, some of them are Iranian, but they're Christians. So Christians are being maligned as terrorists just by geological locale. So, and it's bullshit, and this discrepancy needs to fucking stop. And one side cannot use this against the other. It's being used by here in the West, by Fox News, to paint. They're basically trying to start up a fear for another war on terror, is what they're doing. And so let me expand further into why, in my opinion, why I don't do stand for Palestine or stand for Israel. You have this binary way of thinking about this. Yeah, people support Palestine. From the rivers to the sea, Palestine will be free. And then you have the Israel side. Israel has the right to defend itself and carry out justice. And I stand with Israel. But the dark side of this is Talmudic Jews and their texts do not say nice things about Jesus Christ, Christians, or Gentiles. Gentiles are people who don't believe in Judaism. They liken Christians and Gentiles as servants and animals to serve them. I think there's even parts in Talmud where it says you can legally kill these people without repercussions, and that Christians, are non-believers and should be killed. Now, of course, Jews will say, oh, not all of us believe that. There's just these Talmudic radicals. But again, we're not supposed to, paint with a broad paintbrush. We're just supposed to take their word for it. Then on the flip side, Muslims refer to Christians and non-believers as the Kafir. Again, to be servants of, and animals. They see them as animals and to be subservient to them. So here we have Israel and Palestine sharing the same sentiment against Christians and Gentiles, non-believers, agnostics, atheists, and you don't even have to be ideological. You just don't even have to share the same ethnic similarities as they do, and you're an enemy and a monster. I think there was even a quote on Twitter where the spokesperson for Israel had referred to Hamas as animals, and was like, that's interesting coin of phrase, because their Talmud, the Talmudic Jews, believes that you and I are animals to be exploited for their purposes, to be their slaves. So do not let the media, do not let the norms of groups, or even Western or Eastern idealism, pressure you into supporting a side. Because at the end of the day, and in closing, I will say this: God gifted us this beautiful universe full of stars and other worlds to explore. Our birthright is the stars, to expand and human life, to do good things, to bring about a new world, a new universe. But what are we stuck fighting over? What are they stuck being maligned? And this discrepancy that's being painted against anyone who dare has an opinion against either side, this binary bullshit. And these two groups, Israel and Palestine, are essentially fighting, murdering, and killing over terrain and a region that's essentially a cat's litter box. So, and there's this whole new war on terror fear that they're pushing. Don't buy it. And to two groups, two nations, Israel and Palestine, that sees you as an animal, to Christians who they see as animals and supposed to be servants and less than human, why should you care? And don't feel bad about not caring. Do not feel bad about not picking a side. Or if you do pick a side, don't feel bad about making your choice, because you probably have reasons or viable explanations. Maybe you have family on one side or the other, or what have you, and you're concerned about violence or retaliatory violence. I get that, and I'm not going to judge anyone for that. But what I will say to people on the outside, why should you care? And don't buy into this frenzy of fear and this new wave of just war on terror fear that they're trying to put out there. Because remember, Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed Martin count on your fear and support, and for them to profit off it as they extinguish other human lives. And I'm sure there's probably arms manufacturers on the other side with Palestine. I don't know the particulars of arms manufacturers, maybe Kalashnikov, okay, or other. There's a bigger game being played here. And what I'm just saying is, don't play that game. Don't sacrifice the beauty of your life and the one existence that we know of for someone else's extremism, chauvinism, or nationalism. You should have the right to choose or not choose, and you should have the right to not be involved. And again, if you are a Kafir or Gentile, why should you give any fucks about what these two people want you to be their slave and subservient over, or subservient to? They deserve each other, in my opinion. But anyways, with that, and in closing, as an olive branch, hopefully the people lost will find peace. And yeah, that's it. That's my thoughts on it. And see you next time. God bless. God bless. Stay happy. Stay healthy. And yeah, of course, with this in closing, God bless Christendom. Viva Cristo Rey.
Patriotism is dead. There's only rebels and tyrants now.
A world ready for the righteous and the pure to inherit.
Don't believe in surrenders. No, I still got my saber, Reverend. Didn't turn it into no plowshare either.
Strings on me. over this territory.